Next up, we have yet another inspirational speaker who's going to tell you about data analytics. Now, if you remember from yesterday, that was a big buzzword. Our panel discussion on careers of the future had people that kept mentioning to you that you need to look into data and careers that exist within that sector. So Dr. Sibongiseni Thotsejane is going to come up and she's going to share her journey of how she got her PhD from the University of Cape Town in collaboration with a university in Canada, and also how she created an award-winning, first ever created business process model that has been adopted all over the world. She's also going to tell us about her NPC, Lavolution, and all the wonderful things that she gets to experience in the world of data. So let's welcome Dr. Sibongiseni Thotsejane.
Tumelani, Molweni, good morning. I am Dr. Sibongiseni Thotsejane. I come from an organization called FLI Global. It's short for Flavor Light Innovations Global. We also have an NPC called Lavolution.net, where we really take data elements and experiments where we own data and also we give access and think about how do we take data and make intellectual property and also trademarks through this revolution in every area, especially music. So I actually am so grateful to be here, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to actually share my data journey. I started in 2006 as a data analyst for a multinational company which was based in Cape Town. And I saw that there were gaps. I just wanted to find out how are they making money out of giving freemiums. So it was the era where Google was giving free Gmail accounts and also companies, just multinationals, were giving free data analytics tools. And I'm like, how are they giving so much freemium and how are they commercializing the innovation and inventions that they do? So I then read, and also as I was working in the company, I had clients in the US, in the UK, and in South Africa. Google was really coming up, and also it was becoming a buzz. And I'm like, I want to go to Google. I want to go to Silicon Valley at the headquarters and actually see how they actually are commercializing this data. So as I was going through the journey, I then, in my PhD studies, got a mentor who had someone who was heading the analytics team. Then they arranged that I visit Google as a researcher and then at Silicon Valley. And as I was researching, the team in analytics really appreciated the work I was doing. And I was fortunate to then spend at least 2 months at San Francisco, at Silicon Valley, at Google headquarters, and then learning the ins and outs of data. That's where my foundation of data came in. Because Google was leading in data principles, I thought then, how can I improve on what Google is doing and actually put that as part of my PhD findings, because I had to come up with something new and something that has never been done before. So I then built on the successes of Google and then also contextualized it for the African mindset, because in Africa, I was just observing how we were just consuming and not understanding the access and sovereignty of data. I then built upon that and created the first ever big data analytics model that was commercializing as it was being developed for the studies. Already there were clients consuming the findings per milestone in the UK and South Africa. So that's how data really became one of my passions, because for me, I said I'm not doing a PhD in any other theory, because if I'm doing any other PhD, I have to commercialize because I'm coming from a rural area. There's no way I'm gonna have a thesis that's gonna gather some dust. This thesis better make me some millions in every currency and billions in every single currency, and that's what's happening. It's been paying me since. And then as I came back, I got nominated by 3 provinces to serve on the Presidential Commission for the 4th Industrial Revolution. What this commission does, we were nominated from all 9 provinces, and my role within the commission was to actually talk and delve into the big data analytics issues, and also for the education and the transport sector. Then I got to be part of the advisory panel for the President, His Excellency, and that's how the 4IR recommendations and commission came about. And we started serving since 2019. Some of the accolades that we've got with the big data analytics work and also the big data analytics careers that I got involved in along the way include the Mail and Guardian Women in Science, Technology, Engineering, Mathematics, and Innovation. And also this year, I got a scholarship by the Digital Analytics Association globally. So I get to learn and also network with all other data analysts in the world and come up with trailblazing solutions that solve societal and business problems. So I am going to just share a video of what we do at FLI Global.
Molweni, hello. I am Sibongiseni Thotsejane. The name of our company is FLI Global. What we do in our company, we offer the fourth industrial revolution services and products, starting with the ICT infrastructure and also creating our own proudly South African tools to measure and monitor the social impact done in our rural areas and townships. The problem that we've identified as a company is that as people, corporates, individuals, and also governments are coming to our townships and rural areas, we are struggling to coordinate all the positive impact that is being done in our communities. The solution as a company that we've come up with, we've created and developed a social impact assessor tool and platform in order to measure and monitor the progress that's being done in our rural areas and townships. We've done this by using artificial intelligence and also forecasting methodologies in order to know which priority areas the investors and people wanting to invest in our organizations to start with. We've used also stats from Statistics South Africa in order to overlay the forecasting and the predictive analytics. We generate revenue by selling our SIA application, which is our social impact assessor tool, to non-profit organizations, non-government organizations, departments that measure performance of service delivery, and corporates who are keen on adding value and CSI initiatives in townships and rural areas.
That's what we do. So why do we want to do this? We've looked at the issues of inequality, the issues of poverty, and issues of unemployment in our country. And we decided to say, how are these driving what we are intending to do using the careers in data science and in data analytics? Those are the drivers that really drive us to do what we do. And also within the ICT sector, we have principles that are coined by South African government called Batupili. As much as we are creating robots and we are developing technology, people have to be at the center. We are doing these innovations for people, by people. And also when we look at the careers that are associated with big data analytics, two streams really come to the fore: data analytics and data science. So most of the careers are emerging from these streams. So you see that when you're talking about data analytics, you're really talking about taking existing data, and it has become voluminous now, it's huge. And now with the data science, you at least are putting in algorithms that could be predictive in nature, and also you are using that data for actually forecasting. So there are differences and there are similarities within data analytics and data science. These are some of the careers that learners, students can consider when they're going forward. Both these streams, data visualization becomes key. So how do you actually program with a number of different programming languages, and yet you want to see the data to be clear so that you can start making meaning out of it and also start making decisions and formulate policy using data. Some of the careers, again, in the data analytics and data science, you could have your data scientists, you can have database administrators, you could have data engineers. These are just a few. There are thousands. I mean, you have search engine optimization managers, you have business intelligence managers, you have business analysts. The careers in this data space globally are at a shortage. So these are just the key and the foundational ones. So what are the positives and the benefits of actually understanding data analytics and also being a data analyst? So when you have this data at your disposal, all of a sudden you can now decrease your costs because you are making decisions that are precise and that are data-driven as well. And also as an organization, if you have a data analyst who is a dedicated resource, you can actually start thinking about what are the trends in your sector. You can start planning better. You can understand your seasonalities in what you're trying to do. You know that you'll have your Sasol Techno X around September. So now how do you plan a year in advance because you know this is coming? So taking all the data that you have amassed to plan better, to increase your revenue, and actually ensure that your messaging speaks to your target market and your actual client and your customer as well. Then you get to improve your consumer experience as they engage with your brand. Some of the advantages and disadvantages of data science, as much as it's a great career, the disadvantage, you find that it is extremely blurry. It's still in its infancy. And you find that the complexity associated with data science is still not conclusive yet. So people are learning as the industry matures. So as a young person who's choosing this career, you must be a lifelong learner because this changes all the time. So the positives that is associated with being a data scientist, though, is that it's in demand. You can work pretty much anywhere in the world. And also the salaries and the positions are paying quite well. And also it's quite prestigious at the moment. So these are some of the positives and benefits of being a data scientist. Now, there are programming languages that you must know, just the fundamentals, the basics. At least you must know how to use Python, you must know how to use R, you must know how to use SAS, and you must know how to use SQL. SQL, but it's SQL for us who are in IT. And there are other programming languages then, if you want to go in depth, like Hadoop, you can start introducing other tools that will help you to actually make meaning and sense out of the big data. There are about more than 500 tools for different uses, like from social media data that span to visualization, like Tableau. There are many languages and there are many tools, but these are the basics and the fundamentals that you need to be aware of. I'll just share how you apply now data in real life, like in marketing. Here's an example of social media analytics.
On Super Bowl Sunday, the US is big, loud, and expensive. Sweden is Swedish. So how does Volvo compete with the other car brands and their millions spent on commercials during the game? We don't. We steal it.
When you see a car commercial during the game, any car commercial, not Volvo, you can tweet using the hashtag #VolvoContest.
The interception was simple. Their commercials would give you a chance to win one of our cars for someone you love. Just tweet their name to Volvo during any car commercial. When Mercedes wanted you to look here, people immediately went here. When Lexus spent 4.5 million for this, Twitter looked like this. Shifting the social conversation to Volvo. With up to 2,000 tweets per minute every time their commercials aired, we changed the Super Bowl conversation from one loud 30-second roar to an ongoing conversation about Volvo that lasted the entire game. We were the only car company to trend both nationally and globally.
So they weren't advertising on TV, they were letting all the other car companies do that for them.
And just like that, their millions of dollars worth of car commercials turned into a social conversation about Volvo, helping our XC60 to a 70% sales increase the month following the game, the highest in its segment.
So with the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist, with a data scientist, you must have some fair level of business acumen. So for example, if you can't afford those adverts that all the other companies were putting out, as a data scientist, it's your role to say, how do I make sure that I make money from thinking? And also, you just have a limited amount, and competitor analytics are a thing now. So your thinking and how you set yourself apart with what you've got is what will set you apart. That's what Volvo did. So they ran a competition, a Volvo contest. That was the biggest intercept. It hasn't been matched so far. So this is what a data scientist must do, using all the tools at their disposal, using all the thinking and the business acumen, and using all the social analytics that are out there. So that is just one example. It's always important that as we're talking about data analytics and data science, that we never forget about people who are differently abled as well. As they are involved in these careers as well, how do we make sure that the tools, hardware and software, is enabling so that they can also participate in these careers? And then the Lavolution, bringing it home to South Africa, using data. How do we start owning our content? You see that the young people now are becoming influencers, search engine optimization specialists. They're making money while they're still in high school. How do you actually take what you have, your own content, and also bring other roles and other people who are qualified differently to work together? So this is what we've done. We've taken all the people who have intellectual property who want to work together to create a 3-minute song. We had about 26 roles that we had to involve in this song. Here's an example of how we apply data ownership, intellectual property, trademark, copyrights, data sovereignty in a South African context, and also creating a proudly South African song from South Africa to the world. 100% proudly South African. So on that song, you had a much multi-award winning artist, which is Momulemi, who's like winning all the Tswana awards, and then an upcoming artist who's unknown, working together on a song. But the most important thing is the legal intellectual property lawyers that we had to get, the roles that were involved in creating that. We had to get funders, finance directors, the roles, we had to get data analysts, search engine optimization managers, we had to get the A&R manager, we had to get artists, we had to get RISA, SAMRO. These are all the data entities that had to be involved to make sure the sovereignty and the ownership and the intellectual property of the song, the trademarks. We had to get cinematography, we had to get graphic designers, we had to get technology team to make sure how we store the data, and also when we need access to it, we have it, it's not corrupted, security of where the storage of all the elements of the information. We had to get social media influencers to publish the song. We had to get TV, Channel O, MTV Base. We had to get distributors, public relations, blockchain. Now, people who are well-versed about NFTs, because we're going to put this music on blockchain, and we had to get researchers and innovators. This is just one for 3 minutes. There are about like 26 jobs that we had to get around the table to make sure that this work is actually owned, and the intellectual property thereof and the royalties are split fairly with contracts to everyone who added value. So these are some of the companies we've added value in regarding data analytics and data science. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Dr. Sibongiseni Thotsejane. That was an amazing presentation and so unexpected, I'm sure you might all agree. Data is everywhere, and I think that's the point that we've learned today. And I love how the doctor linked it to something that a lot of us young people might relate to, which is the ownership of all of the content that we create and where it is stored. So data is everywhere, and there's so many careers for you to consider. Make sure that you look up big data and data analytics, and of course that you look up Dr. Thotsejane and the incredible work that she is doing as part of the South African Presidential Planning Commission. Thank you so much once again for that amazing talk. We have come to the end of our opening segments. We still have very exciting things for you to do. We're going to go straight into the virtual exhibition. We want you to have time to engage those exhibition stands, to talk to the different exhibitors about the careers that you are interested in. Don't forget that you can click on the interactive circles, get to know more about the exhibition stands, and look for those crosses and keep adding those numbers to win that iPhone 13 on Friday. We also have a virtual DJ. This is a cool addition that we've added. So you'll see right now on the chat that there is a song request button, and you can click on that to request the music that you want to hear. And during this time, when you are walking through all of those exhibitions, you could be enjoying some of your favorite artists and music, courtesy of Sasol Techno X 2022. We will see you at 1:15 with more exciting speakers on stage for you. See you later.